I'll take the high-speed rail to a city and chemically castrate you. That was the last thing Shen Buyu said to me at the station before leaving for High City. She looked so sweet and innocent, but her words sent a chill through me. Grinning, I pinched her cheek. Relax. I'm the most faithful guy there is. Besides, who could compare to my Shen Buyu? Beautiful and possessive. What could be better? She shot me a glare, then rose on tiptoe and bit my neck. She left a clear bite mark, marking you. You're mine. That was my childhood sweetheart and girlfriend. Sweet and innocent on the outside, but insanely possessive underneath. We'd grown up together, from fighting over toys in kindergarten to secretly kissing in the equipment room. We'd always been inseparable, until the entrance exams ended and I went to City A, while she went to High City. Long-distance relationships are brutal. A month into the semester, I was already counting down to the National Day holiday. The guys in my dorm all knew I had a girlfriend. They saw me grinning stupidly at my phone every day. Fang's you. Your girlfriend is checking up on you. My roommate Yangjian tossed me my vibrating phone. I answered the video call. Shen Buyu's face appeared on screen. She was in pajamas, her hair still dripping wet. She clearly just showered. Did any girls hit on you today? Seeing how fired up she was, I decided to tease her. Yeah, the prettiest girl in the next class asked to borrow my notes. She even gave me flirtatious looks. Shen Buyu narrowed her eyes. Oh, is she pretty? She's decent, but not as well endowed as you. She clenched her fist through gritted teeth. Fang's you. Just you wait. Heh. I was kidding. I spent the entire day in the lab. I didn't even see a female mosquito. Only then did she give a satisfied hum. Then she suddenly leaned close to the screen and lowered her voice. I miss you. That one sentence instantly turned me on. This girl knew exactly how to get to me. I'll come see you in High City for National Day. She shook her head. No. I'll come to City A. I want to see where you live and check for signs of other women. Be my guest. I've got nothing to hide. We kept flirting for another half hour before hanging up. I put down my phone and let out a long sigh. That's the worst part of being long distance. You can see each other, but not touch. For childhood sweethearts like Shen Buyu and me, it was pure torture. Lying in bed, I remembered the last day of summer break when Shen Buyu had been on the couch at my place. She'd been wearing my t-shirt. I cursed under my breath, rolled out of bed, and took a cold shower. The next day was Saturday. I slept until noon. There were 3 unread messages from Shen Buyu. Are you up? Why aren't you answering? Are you with another woman? Just woke up. You filled my dreams. Liar. I was about to tease her more when the doorbell rang. No one ever visited my tiny off-campus rental. It was probably a delivery. I opened the door. Shen Buyu was standing outside. I was completely stunned. I froze where I stood. She wore a pale blue dress and pulled a small suitcase behind her. Tilting her head, she smiled at me, surprised. Holy hell, didn't you say you come for National Day? Coming to my senses, I pulled her inside. She tossed aside her suitcase and threw herself at me. I couldn't wait. The familiar peach scent in her hair filled my nose. My heart pounded as if it would burst from my chest. She cupped my face and studied me closely. You've lost weight from missing you. I lowered my head and kissed her. I taught Shen Buyu everything she knew about kissing, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. Just as I was savoring it, her hands started wandering. I caught her wrist. Wait. Give me a second. This surprise attack is too much. 1 month apart, and you can't handle it. What are you talking about? I just thought you might be tired after that long train ride. I'm not tired. Let me inspect things first. I knew exactly what her inspection meant. Shen Buyu let go of me and surveyed my room like a detective. She opened the closet and sniffed around, then checked the bedsheets. She even lay on the floor to look for suspicious things under my bed. Is this really necessary? I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. She seriously picked up my phone. It absolutely is. What's the passcode? Still your birthday. She entered it and started combing through my chats and photos. I leaned against the wall and watched her, thinking her jealous act was unbearably adorable. She suddenly held up my phone and looked at me. On screen was a chat between me and some girl. Who is this little bunny? Yang Jian's girlfriend. She was asking if he'd been flirting with other girls lately. Scroll up. You'll see I call her sister-in-law. Shen Buyu scrolled up and finally nodded in satisfaction. She kept inspecting. In my gallery, she found several saved photos of herself. They were all secretly taken shots of her profile and back. She scolded me, but the corners of her lips curled up. Inspection complete. At last, she put down my phone and leaped into my arms. I'll trust you for now. I wrapped an arm around her slender waist. Satisfied? No. There's still one place I haven't inspected. I instantly understood what she meant. Here. What if the landlord? She kicked the door shut. Shut up. Let me inspect you. 2 hours later, we lay sprawled on the bed. Shen Buyu lay on my chest, slowly tracing circles with her finger. Hungry. She gave a lazy hum. I sat up and gently set her down, then patted her head. I'll cook. There are still ingredients in the fridge. She looked up in surprise. You can cook now. I can't live on takeout every day. I learned a few simple dishes. Rather proudly, I headed straight to the kitchen. Shen Buyu followed in little quick steps. My kitchen was too tiny to turn around in, but she insisted on watching. I swallowed. I can't concentrate with you like this. Then concentrate on cooking. She kicked me, though her eyes were smiling. I made scrambled eggs with tomatoes and shredded pork with green peppers. They were the simplest home-cooked dishes. Shen Buyu took a bite, and her eyes lit up. It's actually edible. What do you mean, actually? I practiced several times using recipes. She suddenly leaned over and kissed me. That's your reward. We ate squeezed beside the little coffee table, our legs pressed together. The feeling was so familiar. It felt like being back at her house, doing homework together. Except back then, we had to watch out for her parents walking in. Now, we could cling to each other without restraint. Do you have a lot of classes? Not bad, my schedule isn't packed. I have time to rest. The lab reports are just annoying. What about you? How's High City? How's school? My schedule is fine too. At least I have time to come see you. But the 3 girls in my dorm are so noisy. They talk about makeup and boyfriends every day. It's so irritating. They stay up all night. You didn't tell them about me. I did, but they wanted to see your photo, and I refused. You can only be mine. She narrowed her eyes and bared her teeth at me playfully. I couldn't help laughing. There you go, showing your obsessive side again. Heh, you don't like it. I love it. The more possessive, the better. She gave a cold huff and pinched me. I didn't dodge. I just pinched her cheek. After dinner, we squeezed onto the couch to watch a movie. Shen Buyu nestled in my arms, absently playing with the hem of my shirt. How many days can you stay? She sighed softly. 3 days. I have class Monday, so I have to go back. Then I'll come see you in High City for the National Day holiday. Do you miss me? Of course. I missed you so much I learned to cook. I pinched her nose, making her laugh. She suddenly remembered something. Getting up, she took a little box from her suitcase. I brought this for you, in case you starve to death here. I opened it. Inside was a box of High City's local pastries. My heart warmed. She talked tough, but she was more thoughtful than anyone. Halfway through the movie, my hands started wandering. We just ate. Behave yourself. I'm helping you digest, I said with perfect seriousness. She rolled her eyes but hugged me of her own accord. You always have an excuse. That night, we squeezed onto my single bed. September in a city was already a little chilly, but holding Shen Buyu felt like holding a little furnace. In the dark, she spoke softly. Fang's you. What is it? I love you. Warmth flooded my chest, and I held her tighter. I love you too. Miss Possessive. She pinched my arm, but gently. That Monday morning when Shen Buyu left, my rented apartment suddenly felt empty. Her peach shampoo scent still lingered on the sheets. I held her pillow, then stayed in bed until the last possible moment. When I took her to the train station, she fought hard not to cry. But as the train pulled away, I clearly saw her press her face to the window, squashing the tip of her nose flat. Message me when you get there, I shouted after the departing train, not knowing whether she heard me. On the subway ride back, my phone vibrated in my pocket. I checked it and found a photo from Shen Buyu. It was a close-up of her red, puffy eyes. Beneath it was a message. This is all your fault. Smiling, I typed back. My fault. I'll make it up to you twice over during the holiday. Tell me how you want me to make it up to you. I sent a tongue-out emoji. She replied with a hammer-smacking head-animated sticker. That was our everyday life. Shameless and uninhibited. Our friends used to say we were the troublemakers in cahoots. I thought that was a fair assessment. When I got to school, Yang Jian sidled over mysteriously. You disappeared for 3 days. What were you doing? Get lost. My girlfriend came to visit. No wonder you're walking like your legs are jelly. He waggled his eyebrows with a lecherous grin, then draped an arm around my shoulders. The clubs are recruiting Friday. Want to come? The dance club is full of girls. Just as I was about to refuse, my phone screen lit up. It was a video call from Shen Buyu. Yang Jian glimpsed her contact name. My little possessive tyrant. He gave a whistle. I walked into the hallway before answering. Shen Buyu's face filled the screen. She seemed to be back in her dorm, with pink bed curtains behind her. Who were you talking to just now? Yang Jian, my roommate. I turned the camera toward the classroom. Yang Jian cooperatively flashed a peace sign. Was he trying to talk you into joining some sketchy club? Shen Buyu's instincts were terrifyingly accurate. I had no choice but to confess. The dance club is recruiting. Heh. You want to watch other girls gyrate? You're the only one I love watching. I lowered my voice. The tips of her ears reddened, but her words were still merciless. Fangs you, if you dare go. Ill. I know. You'll take the train here and castrate me. Only then did she hum in satisfaction. Then she suddenly lowered her voice, sounding a little aggrieved. I miss you so much. Just those words, and it felt like a kitten had scratched at my heart. This girl knew exactly how to wrap me around her finger. I miss you too. I checked the time. What time is your class? In 30 minutes. She propped her phone on the desk and started brushing her hair. On screen, her slender wrist moved gracefully up and down. I suddenly remembered what those hands looked like in other situations. Don't look at me like that. She glared at me through the screen. Like what? Like you want to eat me alive. I miss you. But I still can't see you. Her face flushed even deeper as she changed the subject. What day are you coming for the holiday? The evening of the 30th. I've already bought the ticket. I showed her my booking confirmation. Where will you stay? Your school's guest house. She waved her phone smugly. I rented a short-term apartment. It has a kitchen. We can cook together. We chatted like that until it was time for her class. Before hanging up, she suddenly said, turn the camera around. I want to see whether any girls are sneaking looks at you. With a helpless sigh, I did as she asked and swept the camera around the room. There were indeed several girls in the back row, but they all had their heads down, studying. Shen Buyu suddenly spoke. That one in the white sweater. She looked up at you just now. Seriously, you could even spot that. Maybe she was just looking up to rest her eyes. I turned back in astonishment. Her powers of observation were insane. It better be. Fang's you. You could only be mine. I know. Miss Possessive. She narrowed her eyes threateningly, then hung up. After the video call ended, I realized the girl in the white sweater really was looking at me. When she saw that I had noticed, she walked over openly. Hey, could I borrow your notes from the last class? As I hesitated, Yang Jian cut in. He has a girlfriend. The terrifying kind. I was just borrowing his notes. The girl gave an awkward little smile. I handed her my notes. I thought that if Shen Bai's jealous streak found out about this, she would absolutely explode. That evening, during our video call, I came clean. The girl asked to borrow my notes today. Shen Bai was wearing a face mask, but she immediately ripped it off. Was she pretty? Not as pretty as you. What else? I didn't notice. She grabbed a plush toy beside her and threw it at the camera. Liar. You definitely look. I'm innocent. I really didn't. Yang Jian can vouch for me. He said my girlfriend is terrifying and scared the poor girl off. Shen Baiyu froze. Then the corners of her mouth lifted. At least he knows what's good for him. Crisis averted. She changed the subject and asked what I had for dinner. I showed her my cup of instant noodles. She immediately wrinkled her nose. This is what you eat when I'm not there. I was too lazy to cook. Your cooking was better. She sounded disdainful, but her eyes were smiling. Oh. Stop it. I'll cook you something delicious during the holiday. You'll get to taste my new skills too. We talked about a few more little things. She showed me the lights along High City's Bund. I showed her the moon over a city's hutongs. Eventually, her eyelids began to droop, but she still forced herself not to hang up. Watching her struggle to stay awake, I spoke softly. Go to sleep. I'll watch over you. She nodded drowsily and rested her phone beside her pillow. I watched as her breathing slowly evened out. This had become our new long-distance habit. Staying on the call while we slept. The data charges made my wallet ache, but hearing her breathe helped me sleep more peacefully. In the middle of the night, Shen Bai's voice suddenly woke me. Fang's you. I dreamed you were with someone else. Her voice was thick with tears. I comforted her gently. Dreams mean the opposite. You're the only one for me. She sniffled. Really? You're not lying to me. Really? Go back to sleep, baby. I kissed my phone. When I woke the next day, I found that our video call had lasted 7 hours. Shen Baiyu was already up and had sent me a message. Good morning, my man. I replied with a smile. Good morning, Miss Possessive. This went on for a week. We had our own classes by day and video called at night. Sometimes we texted. Shen Baiyu knew my class schedule by heart. Every time class ended, her message would pop up right on time. Friday night, Yang Jian dragged me to watch the campus clubs recruit new members. The dance club's performance had just begun when he egged me on from beside me. Record some of it for your girlfriend. Are you trying to get me killed? That was what I said, but I still recorded a few seconds and sent them to Shen Baiyu. They don't dance as well as you. 3 seconds later, a video call came through. Shen Baiyu stood in her dorm hallway in pajamas, her hair a complete mess. Fang's you. What is this supposed to mean? Sharing campus life. Sharing girls dancing. I hurried to somewhere less crowded. I was wrong. I'll delete it now. Only after watching me delete the video was she satisfied. Were you captivated by them just now? I quickly shook my head. I thought of the dance you did last time. Nobody else's could compare. Only then did Shen Baiu's expression soften. Then she made me promise that the next time we met, I had to perform that dance for her again, right in front of her. I have 3 days off next week. I froze. You're coming to a city. My heart began to race. Really? Why would I lie to you? I wanted it to be a surprise, but I couldn't keep it in any longer. Shen Baiu's lips curled up smugly. Don't tell anyone, especially that girl in the white sweater. She also made a shopping list and told me to buy everything in advance. After we hung up, I kicked a street lamp in excitement. It hurt so much I grimaced. On my way back to the dorm, Ningbing suddenly stopped me. Fang's you. Can we talk? Instinctively, I took half a step back. What is it? She was on the student council and wanted to invite me to the campus singing competition. I was not interested at first, but she said quite a few people had already been asking about me. I immediately turned serious. I have a girlfriend, and we're very happy together. I know. Ningbing waved a hand. I'm only inviting you to compete. I don't mean anything else. Back at the dorm, I told Shen Buyu about it. After a few seconds of silence, she actually told me to accept. I was a little surprised. Video call me during the competition. Her little canine tooth showed as she smiled. I want everyone to know you're taken. On the day of the competition, I sang her favorite song. My phone was propped up below the stage. The screen was filled with messages from Shen Buyu. When I reached the chorus, I could picture her sitting in her high-city dorm, holding her phone and watching the live stream. Heart emojis floated up one after another. At the end of the song, I raised my left hand and showed off the braided bracelet she had made me. My little jealous sweetheart is in high city. I sang this for her. The audience immediately erupted in cheers and teasing. Shen Buyu sent a string of hearts, then added, "Not bad. Next time, I'll reward you with 3 more seconds of watching the dance club." Ningbing came over to congratulate me and said only one thing. "Your girlfriend seems very happy." I'm very happy too. There were for days until Shen Buyu came to his city. On my way back to the apartment, the autumn wind sent plane tree leaves drifting down. Shen Buyu sent another photo. She was wearing my shirt, standing before a mirror in her high-city apartment, getting some practice in. "I'll wait for your inspection." I pressed my phone to my chest. The autumn wind in a city suddenly did not seem so cold. Then, at 3 in the morning, my phone's vibrations suddenly woke me. The screen displayed one short command: open the window. I pulled back the curtains and immediately saw Shen Buyu standing downstairs. A pink suitcase sat by her feet. The night wind had reddened the tip of her nose, and her long black hair whipped in the wind. She looked up and waved her phone at me. I rushed downstairs before I had even put my shoes on properly and pulled her straight into my arms. "Are you crazy? Why did you come here alone so late at night? I missed you." She rubbed against my chest. "And I came to inspect you without warning." I lifted her suitcase. It was surprisingly heavy. "What's in here?" "Gifts for you and instruments of torture." The stairwell light in the apartment building was broken. As we climbed upstairs in the dark, she kept clutching the hem of my shirt, her fingertips ice cold. Once inside, she covered my eyes with her hand. I heard her sniffle, followed by the sound of her opening and closing the suitcase. 5 seconds later, she finally removed her hand. When I opened my eyes, a cake was already set on the coffee table. It read, 1-month anniversary. We'd been long distance for 1 month. Shen Buyu rose onto her toes and kissed me. I wanted to get here this morning, but I couldn't get an earlier ticket. Warmth filled my chest. She always remembered these strange little dates. She even counted the first time we were alone in the infirmary as an anniversary. The cake was chocolate, with raspberry jam in the middle. She insisted on feeding me herself. Cream ended up smeared on the tip of my nose. Laughing, she leaned over and licked it off. Just as I was about to kiss her, she pressed a hand to my chest. "Explain yourself first. My roommate's cousin goes to your school. She said she saw you having dinner with Ningbing." "That was a club meeting. There were more than 10 people there." I raised 3 fingers. "If I'm lying, I'm a dog." Shen Buyu took out her phone. The photo really did show Ningbing and me, but the angle made it look like we were on a date alone. No wonder she had come to a city early. I shoved the apartment key into her hand. "Why not hang a sign around my neck? Already has a girlfriend. I'll consider it." She actually took a velvet box from her suitcase. Inside was a pair of matching couples bracelets. Mine had a tiny silver lock, and hers had the key. The instant the metal clasp snapped around my wrist, she leaned close to my ear. "Locked up. You're mine now." This girl always made sweet talk sound like a threat. We squeezed onto the single bed and finished the cake. Only then did she remember her so-called real business. She pulled out another pink folder. 5 bold characters were printed on the cover. "Fang's You Observation Diary." Inside were screenshots of all my social media posts from the past month, my likes, and my music history. If I shared a love song late at night, she would note why she thought I could not sleep. If I liked a girl's photo, she marked it with 3 question marks. After flipping through it for ages, I did not know whether to laugh or cry. "You stay up every night just to investigate this." Shen Buyu smugly shook her head. "I have an informant. Yang Jing got to hot pot meals out of me." Well, damn, the traitor was right beside me all along. I closed the folder and pulled her back onto the bed. "Sleep. Put me on trial tomorrow." Shen Buyu wrapped herself around me like an octopus. Before long, her breathing slowly evened out, but her fingers still clutched my shirt. I softly kissed the top of her head. When I woke the next morning, Shen Buyu was already dressed. She was sitting before the mirror doing her makeup. Rubbing my eyes, I asked her. Where are we going today? Your school. She finished applying lip gloss in the mirror. I'm going to let everyone know you're taken. The snack street by the north gate was bustling. Shen Buyu held tightly onto my arm. When we passed the dance club's booth, Ningbing happened to be handing out flyers. I felt Shen Buyu's fingers tighten around my arm. She suddenly rose on tiptoe and kissed my cheek. Hubby, I want some takoyaki. She drew out that one word so sweetly. Several people nearby turned to look. Ningbing silently lowered the flyers in her hand. While we bought the takoyaki, Shen Buyu pinched my lower back. Her face went green just now. Satisfied, more or less. She bit into a takoyaki ball. Next, we're going to your lab. Before opening the door, she deliberately fixed her hair, then tugged her collar to one side. I quickly pulled it back into place. For God's sake, we're at school. She smiled at me and pushed the door open. My advisor and several senior lab members were inside. The moment she saw my advisor, she became perfectly well-behaved, greeting everyone one by one. My advisor praised her manners, then teased me. How did you manage to win such a beautiful girlfriend? I was the one who pursued him. Shen Buyu looped her arm through mine. I've been chasing him since kindergarten. The senior students joined in the teasing, and my ears burned. She made it sound like a fairy tale, completely skipping all the childhood chaos between us. After leaving the lab, she took two thermoses from her bag, matching ones. Keep one in your lab. I opened the lid. Goji berries and chrysanthemum blossoms inside. This is incredibly healthy. Stay healthy, so you can stay with me longer. At lunch in the cafeteria, she picked up a piece of braised pork and held it to my lips. People around us immediately started teasing. I helplessly opened my mouth as her eyes sparkled. After we left the cafeteria, she dragged me all around campus. When we passed my usual classroom, she even had to see where I normally sat. She opened the drawer and found the little sketch I had drawn during our last video call. It showed her asleep against a pillow. Pervert. My ears turned red, and I immediately shoved the paper into my pocket. Confiscated. A light rain began that afternoon, and we huddled beneath one umbrella. Shen Buyu suddenly said, I applied for the exchange program in a city. I stopped walking. When did this happen? I can come next semester. She stared at the road, but I'd have to give up my original placement, meaning all her previous preparations would have to start over. Don't be foolish. I gripped her hand tightly. I can wait, but I don't want to wait anymore. Raindrops clung to her lashes. Only seeing you through my phone every day is driving me crazy. I did not decide for her. I only asked her to think it through. I thought of how, over the past month, after every video call, she would secretly wipe away tears. She called me after nightmares in the middle of the night, then claimed she was fine. Her calendar was filled with little red hearts. My throat tightened. The rain grew heavier, so we ran into the library for shelter. When the rain stopped that evening, we took a taxi to San Linton. She dragged me shopping for clothes again. The sales assistant asked outside the fitting room if we needed help. She answered through the door, No, we're checking the fit. On the way back to the apartment, she suddenly fell quiet. The streetlights stretched our shadows long. She stared at our overlapping shadows on the ground. Fang's you. Will we always be like this? Like what? Like we are now. I took her hand. We will. Even when you're old and turn into a nagging old lady, I'll still tell you dirty jokes. She burst out laughing, but her eyes reddened. Then it's a promise. That night, she helped me tidy my room. She found a stack of high-speed rail tickets in a drawer. They were all for trains to High City, dating from National Day through New Year's Day. After counting them one by one, Shen Buyu threw herself into my arms. I'll come every month from now on. The train fare is too expensive. Then I'll get a part-time job. It would interfere with your studies. Then you come to High City. I cupped her face. We'll be okay. Don't worry. She nodded and took a photo frame from her suitcase. It held our graduation photo. She placed it on the desk, facing the head of the bed. Think of me every time you open your eyes. That night, Shen Buyu video called her roommates, and they greeted me too. The moment one of them said I was more handsome than in my photos, she immediately turned the phone back to herself. No looking. After hanging up, she draped herself over me. I wish I could pack you in my suitcase and take you with me. Then you'll need an extra large suitcase. She suddenly jumped off the bed and rummaged through her bag. I almost forgot the most important thing. She took out a clear document pouch. It contained photos she had taken in High City, classrooms, the cafeteria, and the stray cat below her dorm. A date and brief note were written on the back of each one. Fell asleep in civil law today. Dreamed you kissed me. The cafeteria lady gave me more meat today than she gives you. There was also a photo of the stray cat. This kitten is like you, always acting cute. That way, you won't miss out on my life. After lights out, she lay on my chest and spoke softly. I can come see you once more before National Day. That's too exhausting. I miss you. As she spoke, the excitement she had shown while sorting the photos faded. Her fingers slowly traced circles over my chest. I'm scared. Scared of what? That you'll realize life without me can be wonderful too. Silly girl. I kissed the top of her head. You're everything wonderful in my life. She nuzzled against me and her breathing gradually steadied. Moonlight slipped through a gap in the curtains and fell across her face. Like a thin, glistening tear track, I gently wiped away the dampness still clinging to the corner of her eye. I did not tell her either that an exchange program guide was tucked at the very back of my drawer. On the eve of National Day, I hurried to the station with my high-speed rail ticket in hand. My backpack held snacks I had bought for Shen Buyu, and the scarf she had wanted for a long time. The moment I boarded the train, her message popped up. If you're 1 minute late, I'll bite you to death. I checked the time and replied, I'm already on the train. Have that neck of yours ready. Once the train got moving, the person beside me was already asleep. Before you get off the train, put on the clothes I prepared for you. A photo followed. A bold line was printed across the t-shirt. Already has a girlfriend. The terrifying kind. I replied with 6 dots. She sent back a smug bunny emoji. After arriving in High City, I resignedly changed into that shirt. The moment I left the station, a pair of hands suddenly covered my eyes from behind. Guess who? I reached back and wrapped an arm around her waist. My wife. Shen Buyu laughed and let go. Then she poked the words on my chest. It suits you. Her hair was in a high ponytail, glitter shining at the corners of her eyes. My suitcase hit the ground with a clatter. Back at her rented apartment, I immediately noticed the photo on the wall. We had taken it on our graduation trip. In it, she sat on my shoulders, flashing a peace sign. The hem of her skirt was wet from the waves. Sunflowers sat on the coffee table. Cartoon cushions were piled on the sofa. The place was small, just 1 bedroom and a living room. Shen Buyu hugged me from behind. Do you like it? I turned around. I like you more. She did not let me continue and simply held out her hand. Hand over your phone. Another inspection? Surprise inspection to point 0. I had no choice but to hand over my phone. As she scrolled to my photos, her fingers suddenly stopped. It was from a project team dinner. My Ningbing had squeezed in for a last-minute group photo. Explain. Her voice was soft, but it sent a chill down my spine. A project team dinner. Yang Jian can confirm it. She forwarded the photo to her own phone, then deleted the original in front of me. Only then did she check my chat history. She opened my chat with by Ningbing. It was all about coursework and student clubs. The latest message was still about borrowing notes. At least you've been honest. Shen Buyu handed my phone back. Then she turned and took out an apron. Then make us a late-night snack. Wearing the apron, I cooked noodles in the kitchen. She sat beside me, swinging her legs. Then she suddenly began listing facts. By Ningbing, civil and commercial law major, lives in the West dorms. She shares a class with you on Tuesdays and Thursdays. She likes taro milk tea with tapioca pearls. My hand jerked, and an eggshell fell straight into the pot. Did you hire someone to investigate her? None of your business. She kicked my shin lightly. You're mine anyway. Only when the noodles had nearly turned to mush did she tell me she would intern in a city after National Day. Her department had a joint program with a law firm. It would last 3 months. I looked up sharply. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I wanted it to be a surprise. She paused for a few seconds. I was afraid you'd think I was too clingy. I ruffled her hair. I'd love for you to cling to me forever. Her eyes reddened, and tears suddenly fell. Fangs you. I think I'm really sick. I panic when I can't see you. When I see you talking to someone else, I cannot stop myself from getting angry. Am I too strange? I kissed the tears from her eyes. You are a little messed up, but that's exactly my type. She laughed through her tears. But next time you feel bad, tell me directly. Don't overthink it alone. Then you are not allowed to find me annoying. I promise. That night, we leaned against the balcony railing, watching the bun lights. Shen Buyu pointed to a building in the distance. My internship will be over there. Once I get to a city, your school will only be for subway stops away. Close enough to check up on you every day. Absolutely. She rested against my shoulder. I'll write the character you on every classroom door you use. You might as well carve it on my forehead. I'll consider it. She actually nodded. The night breeze blew her hair across my face. I suddenly remembered the year she had a raging fever. I went to her home to bring her notes. Delirious with fever, she clutched my hand tightly. Fangs you. You can't like anyone else. The next day, we went to the Bund. Shen Buyu insisted that we were matching couple outfits. Both hoodies were printed with, "Stop looking. We're a couple." People kept turning to look at us, but she linked her arm through mine, proud as a little peacock. When we reached Nanjing East Road, she suddenly pointed across the street. Isn't that by Ningbing? By Ningbing was buying milk tea. A tall guy stood beside her. They were clearly a couple. I breathed a sigh of relief. Come on, let's say hello. Shen Buyu dragged me toward them. By Ningbing looked slightly surprised when she saw us. I had no choice but to introduce her. This is my girlfriend, Shen Buyu. Shen Buyu smiled with exaggerated sweetness. Hi, I've heard Fangs you mention you often. As she spoke, she deliberately lifted our clasped hands. After we left, she muttered quietly. She looked at you several times just now. Shen Buyu lifted her chin. You're mine anyway. On the 3rd day of National Day break, she cut my hair in the apartment. She ended up giving me a jagged, hacked up fringe. I did not know whether to laugh or cry as I looked in the mirror, but she cupped my face. Handsome. You look handsome no matter how it's cut. That afternoon, She lay across my lap reading. She reminded me that she would go to a city early next week to settle in and conduct surprise inspection 3.0 while she was there. I pinched her nose. Are you addicted to checking up on me? Preventive measures. I hear girls in a city are very forward. None of them could be more forward than you. Only then was she satisfied. That evening, while shopping at the supermarket, she picked out chips in the snack aisle. I came back from another aisle. She spotted a little box in the cart. Her ears instantly turned red. Pervert. Just as I was about to tease her, she covered my mouth. Shut up. Just buy it already. On the 5th day of the holiday, we went to Disneyland. She put on a bunny ear headband, then made me wear a matching one. While we took photos in front of the castle, she suddenly asked, how about having our wedding here someday? You already want to marry me? You said before that you'd marry me. You forced me to say it with a compass pointed at me. Furious, she turned to leave. I grabbed her and pulled her back. As the castle lights came on, I kissed her. Fine, I'll marry you. On the day I left, Shen Buyu saw me off at the station. Before I went inside, she took out a necklace and put it on me. The little silver vial held a red bean. My grandma says it will keep you safe. She pinched the vial. Do not take it off. A token of love. A mark. She corrected me. My name is engraved on the bottom. I rubbed the tiny U engraved on its base. The announcement called passengers to board, and she suddenly threw her arms around me. See you next week. After the train pulled out, she sent another message. There is a global positioning system tracker in that vial. Don't even think about running. I touched the necklace and replied with a smile. I'd be happy to. The day Shen Buyu moved to a city, rain poured outside. I waited for her downstairs from the law firm where I was interning. My colleague Lindsay came over to tease me. Attorney Fang, waiting for your girlfriend. I hear she's a real beauty. Before I could answer, a message popped up on my phone. Tell her to stay away from you. I looked up. Shen Buyu stood nearby, pulling a suitcase. She wore a business suit and held a black umbrella. Her eyes narrowed dangerously. Just a coworker. I took her suitcase and explained in a low voice. Shen Buyu ignored me. She walked straight up to Lindsay and held out her left hand. Hello, I'm Fang Shu's fiancé. A diamond ring sat on her ring finger. We'd bought it during our graduation trip for 20 yuan at a night market. Once Lindsay left, Shen Buyu immediately pinched my waist. She looked at you like you were a plate of braised pork. After moving into the apartment, she took out our photos from the bottom of her suitcase and put them by the bed. Then she pulled open my collar to check. You haven't taken off the necklace? Wouldn't dare. I caught her wrist. The key charm on her bracelet dug painfully into my palm. That night, she traced circles on my chest. Come with me to the law firm tomorrow and make it clear that you're mine. The next day, she reported to the law firm. She deliberately brought a box of homemade cookies. Each one had Fang and you written on it, with a heart drawn in the corner. When the co-workers praised her, she smiled especially sweetly. Fang's you is such a picky eater, so I had to learn to cook. Back in the office, she immediately lowered her voice. That curly-haired woman keeps looking at you. She has a boyfriend. They're long distance. Shen Buyu seized on that detail. That makes her even more dangerous. I pinched the tip of her nose. Miss Possessive, you really need treatment. There's no cure, and I don't want one. During lunch break, she confronted me with another delivery notification. You received lipstick this morning. Yang Jian bought that for his girlfriend. He used my address. I put the unopened package in front of her. Open it now. She shook her head. She buried her face against my neck. I'm sorry. I can't control myself. After work, we went grocery shopping. Shen Buyu stood before the contraceptive shelf for a long time. Finally, she picked out a strawberry-flavored box. A reward for being good today. Shen Buyu suddenly grabbed me and said, a girl keeps staring at me. Just as I was about to explain, the global positioning system tracker in my necklace suddenly vibrated. Shen Buyu's expression changed abruptly. She pulled out her phone and opened the tracking app she had made. A red dot flashed at our location on the screen, but the name above that red dot was mine one moment, then changed to the nearby girl's account. Shen Buyu's voice trembled. You shared your location with her. I froze where I stood. Shen Buyu zoomed the map in and out. Her fingers tapped faster and faster. When the girl came over, I recognized her as a junior from the school drama club. Senior, we rehearse next week. Will you come? On the way home, Shen Buyu gripped the steering wheel tightly. She kept muttering, the app is malfunctioning. I touched the little vial on my necklace. Besides tracking me, what else did you put on my phone? The car was silent for a long time. Call recordings, text message backups, camera access. Her voice grew quieter, and heart rate monitoring. My whole body went rigid. For the past month, every time my heart raced, the data had been sent to her phone, including when I saw by Ningbing, including when a junior from the lab leaned close to discuss something, including right now. Shen Buyu, this has gone too far. Her tears suddenly splashed onto the back of her hand, but she didn't argue anymore. Location tracking, recordings, backups, camera access, heart rate monitoring. Turn it all off. Her hands trembling, She reached to remove our matching bracelet. Then take this off too. You gave me that bracelet. It isn't the same as surveillance. Shen Buyu stared at me for several seconds, then suddenly threw herself into my arms. Her tears soaked through my shirt. I'm just terrified of losing you. That night, she slept restlessly. I dreamed you turned into a pile of data. No matter how I reached for you, I couldn't hold on. I'm right here. The next morning, for once, she didn't touch my phone. She fried some burnt eggs. Humming as she set the table, she suddenly said, I've booked a therapy session next Wednesday. Do you want me to come with you? No, I'll go by myself first. Before leaving, Shen Buyu put the global positioning system necklace in a drawer. Let's try today to be together without relying on this. When we parted by the law firm's elevator, we were no different from any ordinary couple. At noon, Shen Buyu sent me only one photo. 2 cups of taro boba. One of them had my name on it. When I got home that evening, I found her making curry in the kitchen. A book about intimate relationships lay beside the stove. She gave me a shy smile. It says, you have to give yourself a sense of security. Take it slowly. I'll wait for you. After dinner, she voluntarily confessed to the entire surveillance system she had built. My account login history, my schedule, my calls, and location data were all in it. Looking at all those features, a chill ran down my spine. Only then did I realize she hadn't merely memorized my class schedule. She had also logged into my social media accounts. She had even used the school system to verify my course schedule. Shen Buyu's fingers shook badly. I've deleted it all. The deletion progress reached the end. Then she opened her phone's photo album. It was filled with photos of me from back then until now. There were over 1,000. Can I keep these? She asked cautiously. The photos are fine. The surveillance isn't. Only then did she breathe a sigh of relief. Then she told me, when she went to school last week, she found in the drama club junior's drawer a love letter written from me. But I didn't tear it up. I paused, surprised. That's real progress. Miss Possessive. She pinched me. Call me that again, and I'll bite you. Before bed, the global positioning system necklace was still in the drawer. Wednesday morning, Shen Buyu sat on the edge of the bed painting her nails. She wore a navy suit, and her hair was neatly tied back. The brush had barely touched the bedsheet when her hand began to tremble. I've made a mess before my first appointment with Dr. Han. Isn't that bad luck? Cherry red nail polish had already spread across the bedsheet. Want me to come with you? No. She pulled her hand away. I'm not a child. Before leaving, she tucked a photo of us into her bag, along with that book on intimate relationships. At noon, she sent me a photo of her lunch, a convenience store rice ball and milk. Behind it was the therapy room's pale green wall. A paper crane sat in the corner. Dr. Han said it represents freedom. At 3 that afternoon, the therapy office called. Shen Buyu wanted me to pick her up. When I arrived, she was curled up in the corner of the couch, hugging her knees and staring at the floor. Her neatly tied hair had come loose. Dr. Han told me she talked about her childhood today and hadn't been able to calm down. When she was 5, her father got drunk and locked her in a closet. Later, her mother left. She became terrified that people close to her would suddenly disappear. Ever since then, whenever someone near her suddenly vanished, without saying when they'd return, she'd panic. On the drive home, Shen Buyu leaned against my shoulder. She asked what I feared most. What about you? I'm afraid you'll discover what normal love looks like. She gripped the hem of my shirt tighter. That night, Shen Buyu suggested sleeping separately for the first time. Dr. Han told us to try giving each other some space. She stood in the bedroom doorway, clutching a pillow. Her nails unconsciously picked at the photo frame. I'll sleep out here. I warmed her a cup of milk. She stared at the empty cup for a long time. Then she suddenly mentioned the little boats we used to fold from candy wrappers. Her little boats always used to leak, so I would give her mine. Later, she put every candy wrapper boat into one glass jar. She has kept them ever since. Do you still want to fold one? I handed her the wrapper I had just unwrapped. Her eyes lit up, then quickly dimmed. Dr. Han said dependence needs limits. At midnight, I heard crying from the living room. Shen Buyu sat on the couch, crying over old videos on her phone. They were videos of me playing ball. They had been filmed on the day we first kissed. Do I have to delete all these too? Photos and videos are memories, not surveillance. Keep them, if you want. Only then did she clutch my shirt and slowly fall asleep. The next day, Shen Buyu took leave and stayed home to make porridge. The plain porridge had scorched, and she frantically tried to save it. Her scalded fingers pinched her earlobes as she hopped around. I took the spatula. Let me do it. Dr. Han told me to learn to express my needs directly, instead of making you come back by refusing to eat. I froze. When I once went on a class trip, she went 3 days without food or water, waiting for me to return. That weekend, we went to therapy together for the first time. Dr. Han had us try a trust exercise. I closed my eyes and fell backward while Shen Buyu had to catch me. No. Her face went pale. What if I can't catch you? Try once. As I fell, I heard her ragged breathing and frantic footsteps. She did catch me, but her nails dug painfully into my shoulders. Dr. Han asked, what did you feel? Pain. I told the truth. Shen Buyu immediately let go, her eyes turning red. After we got home, Shen Buyu kept rubbing her right wrist. She had twisted it, catching me. As I held an ice pack to it, she suddenly said, "You weigh 15 pounds more than before. You remember that too?" "I do." She lowered her eyes to the ice pack. "I remember everything about you." I crouched before her. "Then, do you know what I want most right now?" She pressed her lips together nervously. "I want the porridge you made, even if it's burnt." She turned and went into the kitchen to make another pot. When the pot began bubbling again, I took a photo of her from behind as she cooked. She didn't notice the camera focused on the porridge. She stirred it with meticulous care. Steam veiled her profile. Shen Buyu still got jealous sometimes. When Lindsay called to send over project materials, the paper crane in Shen Buyu's hand was crushed at once. I put the call on speaker and finished discussing work. After hanging up, I asked her, "You're not angry?" "Really?" She answered far too quickly. I said nothing. "Fine, I'm lying." She tore apart the crumpled paper crane. "But I need to tell the truth." Smiling, I picked up the scraps. I pieced them into a lopsided heart. Sweat clung to the paper crane's wings. She stared at it for several seconds, then suddenly ran into the bedroom clutching her relationship book. She turned to that page in the book. She repeatedly darkened the words, "Partners have independent social lives." "Is it hard?" She buried her face in the pages. "Yes, but I want to learn how to love you normally." She used to investigate people first. Now, she sent me photos of trees she passed and new convenience store rice balls and clouds in the sky. She also began sleeping on her own, though sometimes, in the middle of the night, she'd still come to my bedside to make sure I hadn't suddenly disappeared. The global positioning system necklace remained in the drawer. Her phone wallpaper became a photo of us on an outing. Dr. Han said keepsakes were fine, but they could not exceed the glass jar's capacity. One night, keyboard clicks woke me. Shen Buyu sat before the computer, deleting the last backup copies of the surveillance software. The screen's glow lit her reddened eyes. The trash still held photo backups she had exported before. "I don't need any of this anymore." Her hand still trembled as she pointed at the files. I held her hand and clicked confirm with her. The progress bar reached 100%. She suddenly turned and hugged me. "Fangs you, if I stop doing these things and become boring, will you still love me?" "I love you, not your illness." She gradually relaxed in my arms, her breathing evening out. In the 4th week of treatment, I found a note by the bed. "No checking up on you today. I trust you." The handwriting was neat and precise. At the bottom, she had bitten a crooked little mark into the paper. I touched the indentation. Even when writing a note of trust, she still couldn't resist leaving her own mark. On my way to work, I reached for my collarbone out of habit. There was only bare skin. The global positioning system necklace never returned to my neck. She locked its small silver pendant in the drawer. She kept only the matching bracelet on her wrist. One morning, after arriving at the law firm, I noticed a small fabric patch Shen Buyu had sewn into my shirt pocket. A crooked U was embroidered on it. I thought it was just her newest mark, until my fingers felt something hard inside. Lindsay casually asked, "Your girlfriend left another mark on you?" She hooked a silver thread from the patch's edge. Lindsay looked as though she'd expected it all along. I opened the patch. A tiny recording device fell out. A chill ran down my back. I remembered her staying up late to alter my suit. When I got home, I placed the device before Shen Buyu. "This is what you call trusting me. I wasn't checking up on you. I only wanted to know if something happened to you." She stopped short as soon as she said it. "Knowing who I speak to doesn't prove whether I'm safe." She opened her mouth, but couldn't speak for a long time. The steak was half raw. The sauce was so salty it tasted bitter. "I'm sorry." She picked up the device and threw it into the trash. Late that night, Shen Buyu lay against my chest, writing her therapy journal. Under the lamp, her eyelashes cast fan-shaped shadows on her cheeks. Her fountain pen hovered over today's progress for a long time. At last, she wrote, "Didn't bite anyone. Don't look. Actually, you can bite. Dr. Han said we should express ourselves with words. Then tell me directly." She fell silent for a moment. Her fingers unconsciously traced my collarbone. It had once been her favorite place to leave marks. "I don't like you talking to Lindsay." "And then you're supposed to say you understand." "I understand." We burst out laughing. Shen Buyu put the global positioning system necklace on the apartment keyring. It used to hang around my neck. Now it only opens the apartment door. Before Christmas, she suddenly spoke in the elevator. "I sign us up for a trip to Hokkaido. Just the two of us." And Jian's group. Seeing my stunned expression, Shen Buyu's eyes curved with mischief. "But I booked the best sound